Yes, my friends, and welcome to the Jon Mahon Show, streaming live across the world right now. And we are not going to waste any time today whatsoever, are we, Ollie?
We're not wasting any time. We got a live guest ready to go.
And waiting. So, my friends, joining us straight away on the Jon Mahon Show, we have a man from a band that have traveled a total of 95,000 miles, driven 40,000, flown 55,000, 96 shows in 8 months with only 3 days off in India. Performed in 15 countries across 3 continents. Welcome to the show, Karan from Bloodywood!
Thank you so much, guys. It's my pleasure to be here.
It is an honor to have you on the show today, my friend. First and foremost, have you managed to sleep yet?
Absolutely, yeah. That's all I've been doing. I have such a hard time sleeping. I'm usually, only on 6 or 5 hours a day. But something has changed, I think I'm sleeping 8 hours a day ever since I came back. So that's a welcome change.
Because all those things John listed off with the intro, I saw on your Instagram post. How was it adjusting to life after that crazy year?
I think I can't answer that question yet because every day is kind of a new story.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, it feels great to be home. It feels great to not wake up to a disaster to handle every day. And it's still sinking in. It's not easy once you live life at 5x the speed for 4 months and then suddenly everything just shuts down. So but I can't complain. I'm really enjoying the peace right now.
Well, you have absolutely earned it because 2023 for Bloodywood has been all gas, no brakes. And one of the things that I want to start this conversation off with is festival season. As Ollie mentioned, that Instagram post said that your largest festival audience, Download Festival, 50 to 60,000 people turning out in the United Kingdom to come and see you. But that was just one of many festivals that you're at this summer. Hellfest, Grasspop, just to name a few. I mean, what was that festival season run like for you guys, like constantly going to new countries almost on a daily basis?
Well, this is our second European festival run. The first one was back in 22, but this one was by far more difficult because even though we had more days off, but we were already we'd already been on the road for 2 months. We played our club shows in Europe in March, and then we went to the US, and then we came back to Europe for the festival shows. I feel that we were very, very prepared for it.
Good.
Because we were warmed up throughout. We were much more confident this time because it wasn't our first time playing to large audiences at festivals. But nothing can prepare you for for 50,000 or 60,000 people in front of you when you enter the stage. Nothing in the world can make you feel, oh, this is just another day in the job.
That's amazing. And I mean, like, as you said, you were very well prepared for this run because given the setup that you have to transport from show to show and like the uniqueness of some of your instruments as well. I mean, like if a doll goes missing, you can't exactly hit at one of the other bands and say, hey, have you got one that we can borrow? So like how stressful is it getting equipment from place to place and, checking everything's making its way safely? Is that the main stress?
It's my main stress for sure. But you know what? The doll did go missing.
No.
Yeah, that happened in Poland. It was our first show in the March tour, and it didn't go missing.
Right.
We forgot to pick it up from the hotel once we were leaving it, and our hotel was in Germany, and we were already in Poland, ready to play the show in the evening. And suddenly a dhol player just wakes up and says, did anyone pick up the dhol? And we were like, no, I don't play that instrument. But luckily, because we're Indian and Indians are everywhere in the world, we found a dhol player.
Let's
we found a
go
dhol player in Poland. Yeah,
The
we found
Poland
a
Doll
drill player in
Society
Poland.
turned up for you that day.
Yeah,
Just like,
it was insane.
we'll
It was
put you on
insane.
the
We
guest
found,
list.
you found the instrument. We took it on rent from him for a day. The show went well, and thankfully our next show was back in Germany.
Sweet.
So we picked up the dole once again on our way back. But um, you know, we also left our double pedal, so I'm not going to leave that out. Our drummer also deserves some flack, but but double pedals are easy to come by. So yeah, it is very, very stressful, especially because we carry our own mixer.
Right.
We don't use the house mixer, and
Oh,
it's a
really?
digital system. Anything can go wrong. Many things did go wrong. Our screen stopped working, but thankfully that was amongst the last shows. So yeah, it's constantly it's a constant stress. We deal with it all the time, and we don't have a B rig yet. We're not rich enough to have a B rig,
Yeah.
a standby rig or something like that. So thankfully, the touring gods have been in our favor.
Let's go. Long may they
To,
continue. I mean, just to touch on something you mentioned then, do you take your own mixing desk because of your stage setup? Because there's so many like complex sounds within the mix that you guys just need to be able to plug in and play as opposed to figure out the system that's already there?
um, Partially, yes. But since I know a thing or two about mixing, I mixed and mastered our debut album. I know how difficult it can be for an engineer to, you know, work on a new mixer every day.
Yeah.
And
Right.
in festivals you barely get any time at all to
Yeah.
set up, right? And we don't have way too many inputs per se. We do have more inputs than most bands when it comes to the stage inputs, but we invested in a mixer very early in our career because we really wanted the best sound possible, uh, and a very consistent sound throughout. And it has really paid off because our engineer is very comfortable with the mixer. He knows our sound, and he doesn't have to learn a new system or adjust to a new system every time we play a show.
Hell yeah. And I mean, given the fact that, as you said, like this wasn't your first rodeo on festival season, like were there any big significant lessons that you learned from 2022 that you took into 2023, just in terms of, either like looking after yourselves, the band, the setup, the transitions?
Yeah, I'd say in 2023, I I became more comfortable with the idea of not having a bath every day. Yeah,
That's
that
the
was
main thing.
probably the hardest thing for us. And with Europe, um, it's very strange because privacy isn't really a big deal over there. When you're taking a bath or something, or even taking a shit for that matter, there are no locks in the doors, and you're supposed to take baths with other naked people in the same room. That was very difficult to get used to, but
It's a big
we
culture
managed
shock
somehow.
sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. So we learned our lesson in 22, and we went in prepared in 23.
Nice.
So yeah, we know each other more personally
Yeah.
even in the band.
Oh, that's so wholesome. Well, I mean, let's talk about getting to know each other because, I mean, Bloodywood, for those that don't know, I mean, like the kind of inception for this project was within parodies, if I do believe, like you doing like covers and reimagines, and that's kind of where the whole creative process kind of started. I mean, what was that early inception stage of Bloodywood where the conversations first started happening?
Well, I just quit my job in 2015. I used to be a corporate lawyer.
Oh, wow.
Obviously, it's not fun.
Yeah,
Um,
obviously.
yeah, yeah, it's not a fun job. I mean, I thought it was probably the most stressful job in the world till I started this band. And then, you know, I'd been playing in bands before 2015, and I really wanted to do something in music. Jayant, the vocalist, we used to just have fun with these covers online. We'd make these metal versions of pop songs and stuff. We'd post them online. We People started appreciating them, but that's not really what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
That wasn't the end game. But when I decided to quit my job, I thought, all right, this is getting serious. We need to really make this happen. And we that's where we started searching for our sound. before before putting out originals, we really wanted to know what sound is going to stick. What's going to be something that plays and is immediately recognizable, right? So and surprisingly, we just had to go back to our roots. Just
Yeah.
look at Indian folk music, Indian rhythms, and once we added, we tested elements of those things in some of our covers. And they were very well received, and that's when we knew that, all right, this is the sound that we need to go for, and now let's start writing some real music. And that's when we put out originals, and then everything blew up, and here we are.
I think it was just so refreshing to hear like other sort of cultures' music mixed with like sort of genty metal, because for me it was like hadn't been done before really, as far as I'm aware. Who have been like some of your inspirations in like the metal world?
Oh, the eternal question that keeps changing, though. I'd say at that time, during 2015, I was listening to a lot of. During that time, I was listening to a lot of Periphery. Um,
Ooh.
yeah,
Nice.
I think a lot of some of the stuff that I always listen to. Insomnium is a band that comes to my mind. I love them. Of course, Alter Bridge for, you know, Alter Bridge is why I picked up the guitar, to be honest.
Let's
Mark,
go.
Mark Tremonti,
Mark
shout out.
Tremonti. Yeah, Mark Tremonti is my idol. If I ever meet him, I'm going to faint.
Oh,
So I hope
that's
that never happens.
got to happen
I
sooner or
The
later.
first time I ever met him, I was quite young in the industry, and he was at Download, and he was the first guitar I ever had was a Mark Tremonti PRS, like the SE
Wow.
version, and he came. We
Yeah.
did an interview with him, and he came along, but he had his PRS with him, like his actual like
We
custom.
just carried it into the interview.
Yeah, we had it in a case, but they got it out and showed us, and I was like fanboy. I was like, oh my god,
Wow. Wow.
yeah.
That's a tough job. To be honest, I'd not be able to interview him at all. I just wave and run.
Just Wayne's World. I'm not worthy.
But you must be sort of nearing the level that you can interact with these people, because they played at Download. I'm not sure if it was the same day as
Yeah,
you
they
this
were on
year.
the Thursday this year.
Were they? Oh, so
Yeah.
you just missed them, but I'm sure your paths will
Yeah,
cross
thankfully.
in the future.
Thankfully.
Yeah, a lot of the members in the band met their idols during this run. That was a big difference from the shows we played in 22. This time we were much closer to our idols, and to the people we look up to.
That's awesome.
Jayant got to meet Corey Taylor. Um, yeah, and of course he had to cry,
Yeah.
but thankfully not in front of him.
Oh,
But
bless
I
him.
think it's a testament to your music, because since the album came out, I think you've gained a lot of fans, not just in our world, but in the music world as well. Because Tom Morello tweeted about you, didn't he?
Yeah,
Which is amazing.
yeah. Yeah, that was insane. I remember that moment when I was actually I was somewhere in the hills brushing my teeth early in the morning, and I saw that tweet, and I just spat out everything.
It's like, what? You have to check it out. It's the real Tom Morello.
Yeah, I did that too. At that time, blue ticks weren't you couldn't buy blue ticks at that time,
Yeah.
so we knew it was the real person. So,
Let's go. And I mean, I tell you what, if there's ever the potential for a collaboration later down the line, Tom Morello does love lending his licks to other bands.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure there's a DM that could get sent that could lead to Bloodywood featuring Tom Morello.
yeah. I'm sure that's actually very interesting, because we've been in talks with a lot of people who we'd really want to collab with, and they've been very positive. So the next album is gonna have some collaborations for sure.
Ooh, let's go.
Speaking of other bands, you've toured with a couple of our friends from the show. So in UK and Europe, I think, and the UK, it was Lake Malice supporting, and then you went to America, and our friends Wargasm supported you. Like,
Yeah.
who has been some of the other of your favorite bands you've played with this year? Because it must be quite a lot.
Well, so the US run was very different for us, because for us that was probably a bigger bill to be put on, if that makes sense. So there was Wargasm, there was Wended, you know, opening, and both the bands were insane.
Yeah.
They put on such an amazing show, and whenever they play festivals, you can see it. You can see how wild the crowds go, and I can't pick between them, to be honest. They're good at different things, but I would say that we've been very very lucky to have great bands play with us during our tours, and we really learn a lot from them because uh, every band has their own story to tell.
Yeah.
And for example, Vended is such a young band. Like, they're so young, and just watching their energy on stage, we're like, holy shit, we can't beat that. You can attribute that to age, being young, but that's in the amount of energy they bring on the stage. That's
Yeah.
insane.
I guess it inspires you as well.
Wargasm, yeah, Wargasm can really get the party started. They
Yeah.
they can turn any crowd that's standing like this to moshing and crowd surfing. So we learn a lot from them too. They've all been amazing. Lake Malice have always, again, they were with us for the throughout the March tour, and they're such nice, helpful people.
Yeah.
We'd love to tour with them all the time. Just having good people be with you throughout that tour makes such a difference. It makes such a, I mean, we haven't had bad people, thankfully, but we can
Hey.
imagine how that would be if we don't like each other or something like that. But that's not happened to us. They've all been amazing.
Hell yeah. And I mean, like, in terms of, as just rewinding it back to something that you just said, with the amount of bands that you're coming across and you're meeting and you're being associated with and you're hanging out with, when it has come to this point where I'm guessing conversations are starting about new music, like, I guess now you've almost got a sort of like dream wish list of like, okay, cool, if we are going to explore features on this one, like, here's the ones that we want to start like hitting up and saying like, hey, how's it going? Like, I mean, how far into the new music process are you? Because your last record was 2022, wasn't it? I do believe that dropped.
Yes, yes. 22. It was Feb of 22. I can't believe it's been a year and a half already. But yeah. So right now we're still in the ideation phase, I'd say. I'm still writing skeletal songs.
Okay.
We haven't started writing lyrics or any of that sort yet, but we're at a very good position because um, I learned a lot from the last album about how this process works. And it was also a journey for me because I was trying to get the best mix out, best master out, and that process is going to be much easier this time.
Yeah.
So I'm much more confident about our timeline and our speed at which we will be able to churn out really good songs, because the seeds are there. We've got some really good ideas. We're very excited to start working on them, but the thing is, everyone's on a break right now.
Yeah,
Understandably so.
understandably so.
Yeah.
It's like, hold on, coach, I need a timeout.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I uh, a, a couple of weeks in, I'm already feeling it. I need to get back to it,
Yeah.
and I probably will from tomorrow itself.
Hell yeah. Well, I mean, like, as you said, you've melodically started exploring the sounds for this new record, and I'm always interested to find out, I mean, like, where was the first instrument you picked up? Like, was it something like more native to what you like were raised around, or were you straight in with the guitars on the rock music?
Well, instrument wise, yes, it was the guitar that I picked up the first because, um, you know, when it comes to Indian folk, so there's Indian classical music and there's Indian folk music, right?
Okay.
These are two very, very different places, right? And no one knows this. Absolutely no one knows
Yeah,
this.
I had
I'm
no
going to
idea
tell this
about
in
that.
this interview. No, 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 no. What I'm going to tell you is something that I've never told anyone before,
Ooh.
especially on an interview. I was actually sent by my mom to learn classical Indian vocals back when I was a kid. So that was for a couple of years,
No way.
and yeah, and that didn't work out at all because I can't sing to save my life. So
You must learn.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
important.
So after that, I wasn't really into music as a kid. Like, no one really is, for that matter. If you're 6 or 7 years old, you don't know what you're into.
Mm.
And then when I was in school, I really got into rock music in general and metal. And in my first year of college, I bought myself an acoustic guitar, and that's where my journey started. After that, I've just been trying to learn more instruments, even though I learn only about just about enough that I can play the part of the song that I need. So if someone asks for a flute solo or something like that, I can't do anything. I can only play my songs. I can't do anything at all. So so that's how that's how I'm trying to um, manage my way through this.
Well, because I was gonna say, like, on the note of the flute playing, I mean, like what's your setup like with that live in terms of like getting the sound out there and like also like like integrating that into a rock song?
Right. So about our live setup, it's just uh, the flute itself. And then I use an Audix OM7 mic because it's very directional. It won't pick up any feedback from the sides. And that's very important, especially when you have a 6-foot guy playing the dole right next to you. And then it goes directly into our mixer, which does a very slight pitch correction, so that the problem with wind instruments is with different changes in temperature, they bend.
Yeah,
And,
especially the
the notes
woodwinds.
don't really stick. Yeah. Even though I don't use woodwind, I use tin whistles, so
Oh,
that
okay.
that problem is minimized. I use them live because they tend to stick to the same tuning, but they're never perfect. So it does very slight pitch correction, and that's really it. It's a very simple setup for live. And when it comes to songwriting, um, it's a very it's very tricky. You can't just put the flute in every song at all.
Yeah.
It has to. It's a very emotional instrument, and you can't really put it in a song where you're just having fun or you're talking about very serious stuff, aggressive stuff. So it's a very very selective thing. And the problem with the flute is, like, if you mess up one single note live, okay, everyone's gonna notice.
Does it stand out
all
harsh?
all the eyes in the room are on you, and you start sweating like a pig. Yeah. So, which is why I always close my eyes when I'm playing the flute, or I look away from everyone else. There was
Just
this one time at I think it was Grass Pop Festival itself, where we were playing Aj, and my flute solo was up, and I was in between the flute solo, and there was this guy who started crowd surfing on another guy who was already crowd surfing. Okay,
sick.
so yeah, it was basically the guy who was already crowd surfing was flat, and this guy was on top of him.
Oh
Okay,
my
and
day.
he was obviously he was being pushed towards the stage, and this guy looks at me and does, and I fucked up. It's on video. Yeah,
The power
it's
of the
on.
crowd surfer through you.
Like,
Yeah,
whoop.
yeah. Because I started smiling. All right.
Yeah, I suppose it's kind of hard
Yeah.
to flute and smile at the same time.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. So I don't look at anyone whenever I have to play my flute part.
That's amazing. I mean, I can imagine like looking out, especially on a festival stage for a Bloodywood show. Some of the sights that you must see in the crowd must be just pure chaos, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on out there?
There are stories I can't even say publicly. The kind of things we've seen in the
You just get off stage, you're like,
crowd. It's
did
insane.
anyone else see that?
Yeah, we actually do that. Right after songs, someone's gonna run up to someone else and say, "Did you see that?" Yeah, I saw that. We can never talk about it again.
We must
Yeah.
never share that one ever again.
Yeah.
Oh, well, before we let you go, because we can't thank you enough for your time today, it's been an absolute honor to have you
Yeah,
on
it's
the show.
getting quite late where you are.
Yeah, I can imagine. What time is it over in India right now?
It's 22:59, so
22:59.
not too bad.
Almost 11 p.m. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much for staying up late for us. We really do appreciate it. And the last thing I want to talk to you about before we get out of here is your lyrics, because some of the lyrics that you have put into songs are fucking phenomenal. And like the first one I want to ask you about is "We're Indian, so you know we like it hot." Like, That bar floored me when I heard it for the first time. Like, who cooked that one up? And like, was it a
That
good?
was all Raul. That was all Raul. Yeah.
Like,
I
with,
mean, he knew even before. I mean, that was his first song with us.
okay.
And he was just a featuring member at that time. And I don't know how, but he knew that this song is not gonna be heard just by, people of our country. So yeah,
Yeah.
he had the foresight.
Genius, absolutely genius. Because yeah, I mean, like, especially like, given your background in sort of like, as you said, like putting parodies songs out there into the world, like having someone come straight on board and understand that there's like, you guys have got a sense of humor at the same time with what you do. It's a very fun project. It's got life to it. I mean, like, that also continues on the bar as well. I love the lyric because Desi boys know that diversity is a gift. That one is a fucking gem, man.
Oh, thank you, man. I'll let Raul know.
Have you found? I was going to ask because I've got Indian heritage in my family, and I'm like growing up. There was never any sort of alternative Indian band or anything to look up to. Have you found that coming over or playing shows, you've found more people coming up and being like, "Oh, I'm so glad there's like representation in the alternative world."
Every single show.
Yeah.
Every single show. People come up to us and say, and it's not just Indians. It's it's people from the Southeast Asian region. Even people from America. People of color. Everyone feels represented, and I feel that's a great thing. It's not just regional. It's kind of global. But also, it also reaches out to people who feel they weren't represented enough in the genre. It happens at every single show. People will come up to us and say it, and even though we the Indian population in our crowd isn't too much. Whenever we're playing shows, probably maybe the maximum number of Indians I've seen at our shows is probably 10.
Okay.
Yeah, and but they're all very, very, very happy that this is happening, and we're also very happy that they come up to us and say that, and that we are able to somehow represent them and make them feel better about our representation in general.
Hell yeah. And have you played shows in India?
We have played, I guess, I'd say 8 shows in India, in total. So that's something.
Hell
for
yeah.
for a metal band to play 8 shows in India, that's really something.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it's not even like on, when bands say like we're going on a world tour, it's never really one that you see on like a world touring card. I mean, like in terms of like historical venues, like I'm imagining India's probably got quite a lot of them, but you just don't see them like on your normal touring card.
Yeah, because India is not an easy place to get to.
Yeah.
The flights are insane.
Yeah.
The logistics are just, so you can't really travel from city to city by road. You can if you're brave, but
If you're
you
brave.
can't do that. Yeah, but you can't do that with tons of gear and
Yeah.
so many people in your crew. You have to take flights every time, and the flights aren't cheap. And thankfully the infrastructure is getting better, but I don't see India can be a touring destination, as in you can play one show and then maybe go to Japan or go to
Yeah.
maybe Australia, but it's not going to be a place where you do
Yeah,
you
like
do
a full run.
5 cities within the country or something
Yeah.
like that. No. Yeah.
Damn. Well, hopefully we can start seeing more bands like playing massive shows over there. Because I mean, like in terms of like demographics, India is such a massive demographic. And the last lyric that I
Yeah.
want to pull you up on is the one with the WWE reference in it. I'm a big WWE guy, and obviously, like they had Jinder Mahal flying the flag for like the India side with the Singh brothers. Like, but whoever wrote that lyric saying, "You say you're gonna do none of that fake WWE shit because we keep it real UFC." If you ever cross paths with the rest of that, could get one of you into a little bit of a spicy situation.
Well,
they gonna do,
that
though?
was also all Raul.
Right. Okay. So you can just go like that. He said it.
To be fair, he looks quite.
Yeah.
He looks like he can take care of himself.
Oh yeah.
He could fight a wrestler.
Yeah, which is why he's the only guy who said it. I honestly, I enjoy WWE myself. I've watched it as a kid,
Hell yeah.
and Rahul likes to spice things up in the lyrics, and we. It's not the only thing that that we've debated on. We do debate a lot on what goes in, what doesn't go in. But yeah, that's the one time where that's one of the things where we decide, all right, we'll take the hit. If something goes wrong, we'll take the hit.
Luckily, it's no beef yet with the wrestlers.
Yet. I mean, like, yeah, if one of them catch wind of that, like, could be in a little bit of trouble. So I mean, just make sure that you're ready to point the finger at the person whose words they actually were.
Yeah, well, I'll let him know. I'll let him know that you like some of his lyrics and do not like the rest.
Oh, massive fan of the lyrics, and like genuinely keep them coming.
I'm kidding.
Don't change anything, because we are massive fans, and like I think the global domination of Bloodywood is only just beginning. Like it's only gonna go and grow.
Oh,
and grow.
I was gonna say, you've done so much off your debut album, which a lot of bands could only dream of. So obviously, so the next album, no pressure, but expecting bigger and better.
The pressure's been there for a while.
But it sounds like you're very much within the game of handling it, and you got a very good handle on it. So thank you ever so much for your time today, my friend. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it. We'll let you go and get off the bed and try and get a little bit more post-festival season sleeping.
Thank you so much, guys. It was my pleasure being here. Thank you so much.
Legend. Thank you so much.
Karan.
My friends, one time show some love for Karan from Bloodywood! Hell yeah. Thank you, my friend.
Hell yeah, that was sick.
That was perfect.
What a nice guy.
Oh, what a legend. My friends, the live guests on the Jon Mahon show don't stop there. We will be joined in our Tour Today show by Brandon from Atreyu.
Metalcore legends, Atreyu.
Hell yeah.
Do you know they're over, like, the first album over 20 years ago now?
Was it?
When you were just a pup.
When I was just
a small Mahon.
9 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was 34.
34. Well, my friends, if you're just tuning in right now, we were joined right at the start of today's show by Karan from Bloodywood. If you missed that interview, it'll be up on our YouTube channel as soon as this show finishes. We're just going to take a brief pause just for 2 minutes, and then we will be back with some music news and more on what's happening later on.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
So,
So, we are having a couple of sound issues, in case you couldn't tell from the tail end of our chat with Karan from Bloodywood. And,
it might be fine. This is what happens when you do shit live,
Yeah.
John, and someone pulls out a plug, pulls out the audio interface from the computer, and then it's like, oh, we fixed the issue. Well, no, because we've created more issues.
I was like, this will stop the clicking issue.
So, we'll keep on going. I'm hopeful.
Well, one sec. We'll just double check everything first, my friends. Then we'll be back in 2 minutes.
All right, sure. Yeah, we'll stop the stream.
We'll do We'll do one final check, and then if it works, we won't stop the stream. If it doesn't,
But
we'll
the thing is, we can't check John.
yeah, we can. So if you do, right, we'll be right back.
Okay. We are professionals.
So
People.
professional. Can you hear me? Is that audio? There we go. Oh, the beauty of live, my friends.
God, this is the most shambolic. Well, it started off well. Karan was a good
Karan killed it.
good guess.
It's us that have been.
Well, we did make an exception for him because obviously he's in India, so we started the show a bit earlier.
Yeah, we started the show an hour earlier this evening because to accommodate
So
the
I had
time.
to race here down the M5.
Yeah, in how many minutes worth of
M6.
traffic?
It took like 45 minutes.
Fuck that. Well, my friends, thank you ever so much for joining us this Thursday, this Band Tea Thursday on
Oh,
the Jon
brand
Mahon
tea.
show.
Not sponsored by anyone, but I didn't wear a brand
Could have at least
t-shirt.
worn in a Forever Loud one.
I could have. And they are available on the newly renovated Forever
Yeah,
Loud.
let's get into that right now. So, my friends, Ollie has actually spent some time rejigging the Forever Loud website. So, as we keep saying, Forever Loud,
We're having a nightmare.
we are having a mare. Forever
Oh, yeah.
Loud should be your home.
Imagine the page in your head.
Yeah.
Go on it and on
Oh, yeah, we can do it on here, can't we? Look at us.
Should be in your saved searches, John. Is it? No, don't go on the website, do you?
I do on the laptop.
John was like, "Yeah, I've seen you put some posts up," and I was like, "Oh, you seen the new layout?" Like, no, you went on last week, didn't you?
But, my friends, it looks beautiful. Ollie's done a hell of a fucking job with the brand new Forever Loud website. Are you ready for this?
Transition.
Oh, look at that. So,
There's a few new. I just cleaned it up a bit
yeah.
because I couldn't. I don't know if you know me, John, but I'm a bit cheap. And instead of paying someone to make a website, I was like, I can do it.
I can do that.
I could figure out how to build a website.
I can code.
And it did take me a while, but I've managed to do it. Oh, who's that guy?
Oh, look at that. Look at that guy hanging out.
So yeah, if you go on website, you got all your latest news.
Hell
videos,
yeah.
Some ads. Features.
Beds.
Videos. Got Old Scene Queen on there.
Hell yeah.
And then this new feature, which I'm quite excited about, is called the New List. So every week, we're going to curate the best new bands, whack them in here, do some articles. I've got a playlist on Spotify which will update with all the best new music. And if that's not enough, John,
Oh, bonus.
if you have a band that want to be submitted for this feature to be on the playlist, there's a handy little submission form
Look
on here.
at that. So we really are trying
Just
to
go on there, drop
drop my email address in there.
no, that's it.
Yeah, so if you or anyone that you know or love is in a band and you want them to be submitted for the Forever Loud playlist, then get yourself over to forever-loud.com.
Did you know, someone told me, I heard this the other day, it's quicker to say World Wide Web than it is to say www.
It is, yeah. World
Which
Wide
is
Web.
Because considering it's it's, what's it called, abbreviation?
Yeah.
Or,
The abbreviation is longer than the actual.
the abbreviation is longer than saying World Wide Web.
Yeah. The more you know.
Anyway, we didn't really do a proper intro.
We didn't.
How are you doing?
I'm good, bro. How are you? That was such a crazy start to the show where it was
I'm
like
good.
bang straight in.
Yep. But you just got to roll with the punches.
Roll with the punches because you know that it's inevitable. It's gonna be unforgettable and totally unpredictable. Nice harmonies. Let's
Thanks.
go. We're on a roll today.
You into the whole Barbie Oppenheimer
Oh, Boppenheimer.
Oppenheimer hype this week?
Oppenheimer. I'm going tomorrow with my girlfriend.
Which one?
So
Barbie.
yeah, we're gonna do.
You're gonna do both.
Oppenheimer first, then a TGI's, then Barbie.
Thinking about this, and the real winner in all of this, Aqua.
What? As in the band?
The band Aqua.
Yeah, because they're about to get some
Imagine
fucking royalties.
their next PRS payment.
It's gonna be big.
Because not only is it probably featured in the film and all the promo around it, fucking Ice Spice and Nicki Minaj have just sampled it in their
Yep.
song.
Holy shit.
Just
And we know two people who actually introduced Aqua on stage at a festival once.
shout out Tim McDoo. If anyone was at Download or Trees or
Yep.
probably any of the other festivals since Download, and they might have happened across a sticker that was posted around
Who the fuck is Tim
saying,
McDoo?
"Who the fuck is Tim McDoo?" And yeah,
No one knows.
No one knows.
No one knows.
He's a man myth.
Is he a man? Is he a myth or is he a legend?
Yeah.
No one fucking knows. We don't even know if he's human or not. But my friends, we have got Brandon from Atreyu joining us
Hell yeah.
in our two of today's show. I think 7:15. I want to say
You set up the appointment, John. You set up the Zoom call.
the appointment.
The appointment. I guess it is an appointment technically, but it sounds too formal, doesn't it?
Very a fish.
I'm ready. You're ready for your appointment, Mr.
The doctor will
Mr.
see.
Salah, I believe is his last name.
Let's go. Well, yeah, we'll be joined by Brandon from Atreyu in hour 2 of today's show. But music news wise,
What's going on, John?
what's been going on in the world of music?
Do you know what I'm doing? Do you want me to
I
spitball?
was going to say, do you
Well,
have
we've
you have
done-
anything you wanted to touch on? 'Cause I've got a couple.
We've had a week off, haven't we?
Yeah.
Did we do it? We did this last Thursday.
Yeah, we did last Thursday. We didn't do Monday.
No, so there's been a few things going on. last week, Wargasm announced their. I'm gonna say it's a debut album, even though they had their mixtape.
The mixtape was the first one.
But it's technically a mixtape, so does it count as an album?
Good question.
I don't think it does, though. I think a mixtape shouldn't. It's like,
yeah, because
it's like a collection of all the songs you've had.
Chance the Rapper has acid rap, but I think that falls under a mixtape and not an album because all the sounds on it are samples. Or a lot of them are anyway.
Well, I'm going to say it's a debut album called Venom, which is going to be out on the 27th of October, and they released their latest single, Do It So Good, which is a very Prodigy vibe. Have you heard it?
I have not.
Should we check it out?
We can check it out. Are we going to get demonetized?
Depends what label they're on. This is the problem with like streaming or checking out stuff.
As soon as we click play on it, some places are like, ha ha.
Well, some labels are fine. Some, it's like the smaller labels, great.
Yeah.
You can put anything up really, and they'll like, it's good promotion really.
Yeah.
And then you put up something from Sony. Tony from Sony just fucking blocks it straight away. But
Tony.
Yeah, well, it's just like an automatic like algorithm. It just picks up the audio and it's like, nope, you cannot use this even if you're using it for fair use.
Denied.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, check it out. You'll like this, maybe.
Hit me.
Ooh, let me turn it up.
Yeah, that is a synth straight out of the Prodigy's Notebook. I tell you what, unsung hero in Wargasm is Adam Breeze on drums.
Yeah.
Unsung hero, man. Adam does not get the credit or the recognition he deserves.
Well, I guess he's not an official member, but
no. Session.
Yes, Sam and Milky are the only actual members of Wargasm.
Yeah.
And Eddie and Adam. Old, I was going to say freelancers, what, session musicians?
Session musicians.
Which is a pretty good gig, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Because get the old day rate.
The old day rate.
That's what I'm all about, day rate.
I'm about Milky doing more vocals like that, though.
Yeah. Man, Milky is so bloody cool.
The star, man. The absolute star.
A little bit of a history. I've known these guys for a while. And I was, like, when Dead broke up, which was Sam's old band, they, like, him and Milky sort of got together and started making music. And I remember hearing, like, the first iteration of what Wargasm would be. And I was like, yeah, Milky's the star. Milky's a star. I was like, this. It was just easy to tell from the beginning that they were going to get big. Just like star power. Do you know when people say that you've got it?
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Milky's got it.
I feel like.
I felt like Simon Cowell.
Yeah, I feel like Milky is the Gwen Stefani to Wargasms, no doubt.
Yeah. Not to compare female.
No, but just just in terms of not just like the energy, but the personality.
Did you know?
Like the reason why like so many people gravitated towards No Doubt was because you had like that blisteringly powerful personality of Gwen Stefani, like combined with that sort of like grungy kind of sound.
Have you watched that documentary, Dr. Dre, basically about Beats? Who's the guy?
Jimmy Irvine,
who fucking legend in the industry.
Yeah.
So there's a bit in that about No Doubt, and he said he saw them at like a very very early show, like a showcase, and he was like, he spoke to them afterwards. He's like, keep on writing. You've almost got a hit, but you will make it because I think at that point they weren't quite there. And then I think the next thing that happened, they did, what's that song?
Don't speak.
Don't speak. And then it's like that guy, he knows a thing or two.
He does. And wasn't there another bit in that documentary where like when they launched the Beats headphones, basically if people refused to have them in their music videos, he's like, cool, I'm just going to cut your budget for your next album.
Just that much fucking clout. Right, let's get back to it.
Nice little Death from Above reference from Milky as well. Genuinely, I want more of that style of like rap from Milky coming out on Wargasm stuff. I think she's got a real good flow about her.
Not a video for the
epileptic community.
Yeah.
That synth line really reminds me of something. I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like a sample. That's like how direct it is. And the thing is about Milky's voice as well, like you can put so many effects on Milky's voice to make it sound fucking awesome.
Saturation.
Yeah.
Bit
of glitch. Breakdown. So what do you make of that, my friends? Brand new music from Wargasm called Do It So Good. That's not your thoughts.
Jon's radio voice coming out then. Just when you speak over the music. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. That's why you're a professional though. And that's why I'm a mumbling idiot that you dragged along to be on this show.
But how good of a fucking job does Ollie do on this show, my friends? Let's give him some flowers, because
the colours got a bit better on this. When we first started the stream, when we were doing the interview, it was a great interview, but a part of my mind was like, we're so blown out in this fucking on this picture. Yeah, that's where my mind's at. Well, what else is going on, Jon?
In the music news world, Bring Me the Horizon just announced that festival in Japan. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That looks fucking stupid.
It's like their own next gen
festival. Yeah. And that makes me excited, my friends, because if Bring Me are in the business of booking their own festivals.
We're quite a Bring Me heavy show, aren't we? I feel like we talk about them every episode.
It's because they're the biggest band in the fucking world.
Yeah, they are. But should we check who's on that line?
I don't think there is a bigger active band on the planet right now than Bring Me the Horizon.
Switch to your camera so I can plug the thing in.
So this makes me really optimistic, my friends, because if Bring Me the Horizon are booking their own festivals in Japan, we all remember a weekend in Malta in 2022 that was thoroughly enjoyable. Now, obviously, the company that put that on, I don't think exist anymore, so that is a little bit of a sad shame. However, if it is the case that Bring Me are trying to get a little bit of experience in that field, I mean, we could see the return of a Bring Me the Horizon weekender, maybe Malta, maybe. I'd love to see Bring Me go to Ibiza, man. Imagine Bring Me in Ibiza.
Yeah. Just a Schweier or whatever.
Yeah, bro, like a Schweier that is.
I've never been to Ibiza. It's not really. I can't. Well, do you know what? That whole scene isn't my vibe. But my parents have been to Ibiza.
Your parents have been to Ibiza,
but they've been to like the nice part of Ibiza.
Right, the non San Antonio.
But it looked beautiful. I'd love to go there.
Yeah,
like
it's such a beautiful island, man.
But that's the thing. It's like it's only become like synonymous with partying in the last like 10 years. But yeah, back in the day, it used to just be like a luxury holiday.
Did you just say Ibiza's only become synonymous with partying in the last 10 years?
Not 10 years. Probably like 20, 30 years. Like, in my head, right, it's like...
It's still 2000.
Yeah, when I think about 10 years ago, in my head, I feel like that's 2000. I feel like it's 2010. I'm old, man. We're getting old. It's not slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, the march of time doth grow quicker. But we fill our time going to see fucking live music, and Bring Me the Horizon are putting on their own festival in Japan. And next fest,
Hell of a lineup.
if this becomes a fucking theme, man, the next fests, I'm about this. And if you're going to put a lineup on in Japan, probably going to want to book Baby Metal, but
Also, I imagine first time Kingslayer featuring Baby Metal.
oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh,
Should we book our flights? When is
how
it?
much are
November?
flights to Japan?
Yeah. It's gonna be expensive.
We don't even have a company card yet.
You get a loan out, get a credit card out.
I mean, I did create as a business account. There's nothing fucking on it, but
Get us some money, please.
Ollie's like,
I haven't eaten today. That's how poor I am.
have you not eaten today?
Yeah, but it wasn't because I'm poor. I'm pretty loaded. Just on a diet, trying to shed those festival pounds.
The festival season beers.
Yeah, do you know what? This is a little insight into my life. First time I've been at a festival, done a festival season with barely drinking a beer,
Really?
cider only.
Cider only?
Cider and spirits only. Yeah.
Yeah. How can you switch to the ciders?
I just don't. I've gone off.
More appetizing.
I like a pint at a pub with your mates.
Yeah.
Like a nice cut in a glass, like a nice cold boy,
Yeah. A long cold boy.
a big delicious beer. But yeah, at a festival, I feel like cider hits the spot more. Because you get the plates of the
I can't
paper.
drink. I don't drink anymore.
like the paper
anyway,
cups,
anymore,
innit?
but I can't stand cider. Me and cider had a bad night out with each other one time and ruined it.
Who is she?
Who is she?
Yeah. What was I talking about? Baby Mel.
Yeah, I don't know how you got from Baby Metal to cider, but we roll.
But yeah, hopefully they bring next fest to the UK or
Anywhere.
or Europe.
Anyway, man, I'd settle for another Malta experience or something similar. As I said, man, like Bring Me on Ibiza will be wicked because
Also-
like the Ibiza season ends in September, right? So like as of September, people are done going out to Ibiza for big events. So you do have the Ushuaia stage
I
just sat
heard-
there not doing anything.
I heard rumours last year or early this year that Bring Me were looking at doing another one in Europe.
Oh, really?
But obviously, with pollen going through. Yeah. Well, I heard rumours of like Tenerife.
Tenerife?
Yeah.
Bring me a Tenerife?
I heard that's literally what I heard.
No way.
I've got some people on the
You
inside.
got some sources?
Sources on the inside.
Bro, we do a live show. How are you not busting
No,
out
this was
these-
pre-show. This was early in the year.
Like we've been doing this show for like 2 months.
but obviously it hasn't come to fruition. So I can't just spread rumors.
Yeah.
without any.
True. We don't want to become
Backing.
one of those shows. We don't want to be like, oh, we heard,
Yeah.
which is exactly what we're doing.
But no, I think that was the initial plan, and then obviously stuff happens.
Yeah.
Because you can't just do it off your own back. Really, you need some sort of promotion.
Do you know what I'm surprised that we haven't heard anything about yet? Because Ollie did make reference to it. 10 years of Sempiternal show.
Yeah.
I am surprised that nothing on that front has been announced yet. Because
When?
we're running out of 2023.
Wait.
Sempiternal's 10 this year.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna have a look.
What? Oh, the
What
month
month?
that it came out. I want to
I
say.
think it was October.
I wanna say,
no, April.
Oh, was it? Oh, so it's officially hit 10 then.
Do you know what? I moved into my second or third place. I'd lived in London, and I remember I lived on my own at that time, and it was like I remember that album just reminds me of living in that flat. I think that was just the soundtrack to my lonely studio flat London life.
I've got an exact kind of memory tied along with it as well. It was when I was working at Karan, but when Karan was based in Birmingham. And I remember the day the Shadow Moses music video dropped, and like literally like everyone in the office who was like begging for a new big band was like, oh my fucking God,
Well,
Bring Me the Horizon
'cause,
have done it.
Obviously, There Is a Hell was the album before that, and it was great, but it's still like metalcore, deathcore.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, what are Bring Me going to do next?
Yep.
And what they did next has become the biggest band in
Yeah.
the world.
And then they went, ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Fish.
Yeah. But apparently, like I saw an interview, and everyone thinks that like Jordan did so much on Sempiternal, but initially they brought him in as like almost like just like a ghostwriter.
But it doesn't surprise
But
me. 'Cause did you listen to Worship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he says that like not a lot of credit goes to Ollie for
Yeah,
Sempiternal.
I saw
Everyone thinks
that
that
tweet.
Jordan came in and just changed everything, but really Jordan helped facilitate the sound that Ollie was after. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, yeah. I mean, obviously Jordan's great with all the sounds and that.
And like just from the outside looking in, because around that time there was quite a stigma around laptop bands and bands needing laptops and like trying to incorporate the program sound, but it all running off Pro Tools or whatever on a laptop.
Yeah.
I think like Bring Me having a solidified member on stage who's triggering all of those sounds, whose responsibility it is for that extra side.
Although they still play to a track a lot.
Yeah.
But find me a band that doesn't play to a backing track these days.
Yeah.
Find me everyone does click tracks, backing tracks. Some bands, I mean, there's been a whole thing online with Craig about a mystery band having like kicks on the track.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I've ever seen live, or I don't think I have. But I do know for a fact a lot of bands, they'll have backup guitars on the track. So just to beef up the bits in the movie.
I mean, on the note of what Craig said, I was at a show in the last year, and I was watching a sound guy mix it.
Yeah.
And like he put his iPad down, and then like picked it up, and there was no signal coming out of anything on stage, and he shat himself. He was like, huh! And then like heard the sound that was still coming out. I was like, oh.
What? So the iPad.
So as in like nothing was coming out like the microphone or the guitars at that moment in time, but stuff was still coming out.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
You gonna drop any names? Name any names?
I'm
John?
not. No.
Do you know who it was? Elton John.
No, it wasn't. We fucking love Elton John on this show.
Yeah, Elton John has a. I'm gonna say he's a family member of yours.
Yeah, well,
his band.
Yeah, I believe I'm actually in Elton John's band.
Jon Mahon is the keyboardist.
Yeah, percussion
or percussionist.
Yeah,
for Elton John's band, and we try and get him on.
I've got his email address. I've emailed him. I don't think I've gotten a reply yet, but I don't mind double dropping the email.
But it might be one of those things where it's like, do you know when sometimes you get scammed and like it emails you with like your name. You might have seen that like Jon Mahon. I'm not going to open
that's
that.
me.
Yeah, the Jon Mahon show. I'm not going to open that. Yeah. What else you got? What else you got for me?
What you got for me? Well, in terms of the rest of this year, festival-wise, we've still got in the United Kingdom Bloodstock and Reading and Leeds. And we've mentioned a couple of times on this show that we're going to do something Bloodstock related. We're working on it.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get something in the next week or so.
Some tickets to give away, maybe. That would be nice.
Yeah. Bloodstock is one of those for me, lineup-wise. I'm never really like, I think that side of metal for me isn't the most accessible.
I struggle with
the bands that you can't read the name.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. I'm like, in terms of that sound, right?
Yeah.
Harriet is like my limit with it.
Yeah.
Like I can go up to Harriet. Anything kind of past Harriet, I struggle with.
But I will say, Bloodstock, still one of my favourite festivals to go to.
Yeah, man. Look at the headliners this year.
Just
Killswitch, Meshuggah, and Megadeth.
The vibe. Everyone's so nice. It's just like, it's usually quite good weather as well in August. And it's like Trees. Like, do you know when it's a sort of family-run festival, it's like still independent, it just has a nicer vibe to it.
It's got its intimacy.
But I put it down to like, it's one of those places where, like, if you're into like extreme metal or you're into dressing like a wizard or a knight, or like you're into
your own
like
chainmail,
or like battle stuff, like horns and stuff. It's like one place a year you can go to, and that's normal. It's like you can be yourself and let loose.
Home.
Yeah, like no one's gonna judge you for fucking wearing corpse paint at Bloodstock.
No, not at all.
So it's just like, even though it's from the outside, if you're an outsider, you'll be like, oh, all those dirty greenbos. Goths.
Did you have to put a farmer's accent on it? There's dirty greenbos.
But it's just because, like I say, everyone can just be who they want to be, and it's just everyone's so happy to be there.
Yeah.
So don't judge a book by its corpse paint cover.
Solid advice. Very solid advice. And then, we got Reading and Leeds Festival.
Reading and Leeds.
Towards the end.
Yeah.
Which...
Not the best lineup for...
alt.
Yeah. Guitar, or guitar-based bands in general.
But, I mean, from a coverage standpoint, like... I want to try and get some of the drum and bass side of things on, because there's a guy called Headex who's playing, and if you like your drum and bass, you'll probably be very much aware of the name Headex. It is just
you like your MDMA.
Sounds. Yeah, it's that times stupid sounds.
Well, this is exclusive, John, for you.
Is it?
I've started a new band.
No,
me and Max Such and Rich Stokes.
Holy shit!
I don't know why I'm saying this on the stream, but it's going to be like metal-y, rocky drum and bass vibes.
Let's fucking go. What are you called?
Don't know. We haven't got a name yet.
It's going to center around eggs.
No, we said Max cannot contribute to any of the names.
The decision has already been finalized.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Let's fucking go.
So keep your ears out for that in the future, or maybe not. I start a lot of projects, and then sometimes they don't come to fruition. Sometimes they do.
It's our ADHD side.
Yeah, I mean, I've followed through with a lot of stuff. Why does that make you feel? Does that make you think of shitting myself?
What else have you followed through with?
Like a wet fart. What is it like? Yeah.
So I've thrown you off there.
I was gonna say like Forever Loud, because I had the idea of starting like a music sort of website for ages, and I had the domain name for like probably like 6 months, and then I was just like putting it off and off and off, and then I just thought, fuck it, do you know what? YOLO once.
YOLO once, indeed.
I just did it, which would be my advice for anyone watching. If you've got an idea.
Just
little business idea or something you want to start, just fucking do it. Even though if it starts off slow, I think this is the problem people have with like doing anything creative or like putting something out in the world. It's the fear of like, and I have it a lot. It's like, oh, is anyone going to care? And probably not at the start, but no, like that's how most projects start. Like no one knows who you are, and then gradually over time it will build and build, and then one day you could be,
in the words of Fight Star,
Bezos.
one day, son, all this could be yours.
Yeah, I'm being very,
very deep and meaningful today.
Positive today.
Yeah, are you okay?
Fever. Got a goddamn fever.
A fever that you can sweat out. My friends, we are but minutes away from being joined by Brandon from Atreyu. The band have got a brand new EP that is coming out next month.
Yeah, I listened to it today because I'm important and I get sent.
Yeah, you do. What's the EP called?
The EP is called The Moment You Find Your Flame.
The Moment You Find Your Flame. Let's go. Well, my friends, without wasting any more time, please show a lot of love and appreciation and welcome to the Jon Mahon Show, Brandon from Atreyu.
Yo.
Hello.
Let's go. How's it going, my friend?
Doing well. How are you?
Very well. Whereabouts in the world are you right now?
I am in Newport Beach. I'm out in front of my kid's doctor's office.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I always forget because obviously where we are, it's the evening. So I guess it must be quite early for you guys.
Yeah, it's daytime. It's daytime.
You have released The Enders.
Yeah, first of all, thank you. That means the world. But yes, I feel like it's a special time in our band right now. There's a bit of a buzz about us internally that feels like it did when we were 19-year-old kids. I just feel like there's so many kind of like our band has gone through so many like milestones and like kind of like new things that we're conquering, and we're lucky enough that that kind of keeps going. And right now feels like a big kind of moment for us where we're kind of taking hurdles into some new uncharted territory, which feels exciting.
Hell yeah, it's very, very exciting. And I mean, like, especially with the success of the stuff that you've released so far. And I mean, in terms of the tunes, like, I know Drowning has had such a massive reception. Like, I work for Karan Radio, they've been playing that on daytimes, like, loads. Like, in terms of, like, in the United States as well, is it the case that you're receiving like loads of radio airplay? You're having like almost new fans like discovering Atreyu for the first time because of it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Drowning's been this kind of crazy beast. Like, it wasn't really pushed as like a full on single in the States either. But like, I know that, like, Karan Radio's playing it. I know even just on like DSPs, like it's our biggest song, even bigger than like Watch Me Burn, that is at radio right now, which is like, it's like number 17, it's top 20 at radio. It's like doing great.
Amazing.
But Drowning still is just like demolishing every other song we put out. But that's also, I mean, for us, it's kind of cool because that's one of the reasons why I put out the smaller doses, the songs via kind of EP, is that it's allowing people, I think, to really like fully digest more of the material when it comes out. You know what I mean? Rather than having like 12 or 13 songs to like try to pay attention to at once, kind of giving people the opportunity to really focus on 3 or 4 songs at a time, which I think all the songs are getting good reaction. But Drowning especially has been a special beast so far.
Hell yeah. And like, as you just mentioned, like, Watch Me Burn is the current single at the moment. And like, we just need to give an almighty shout out to the music video of this song, because in the music video is the motherfucking boy, Leigh Gill from the United Kingdom. Like, tell us.
The legend.
Oh, what a human being, man. And like, please tell us the story as to like how Leigh came into your life and like shooting that music video that day.
Yeah, so Aaron from Sleeps directed the video, and it was like 100%. It was funny, he brought it up kind of coy. It was like, oh, you might know him from that scene in The Joker. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, that dude. And dude, he was in like he makes his still talks. So that dude's awesome.
That's amazing. Because yeah, like, if people are watching right now, they've not seen the music video. Like, basically the premise behind the music video is like, you guys are trying to do your standard band performance music video and shit's just going wrong left, right and center. People are getting injured and Leigh Gill's the director. And like, the bit that floored me, man, was when Leigh's like, am I the only one here who's a fucking professional?
Professional, yeah. It's so good. The coffee spit is so good. Like, he was great, man. It's funny because, like, I mean, if you're paying attention at all to any of our new music videos, you can very much tell that we've thrown every ounce of seriousness when it comes to videos out the window, and we're kind of just letting our personality shine. But yeah, that video definitely was kind of taking the cool guy heavy metal rock band in warehouse with fire video and flipping it on its head, which I think it's greatly successful because of Lee.
And just the fact that, as you said, like, you guys are like now open to, like, you know, just not taking it all so seriously. Do you think that like the band that wrote X's and O's would have ever like sort of agreed to have done something like that, or was that like a little bit too silly for a band like that, do you reckon?
I think some of us would.
You reckon?
But I think that I don't know. I think that just like one of our assets, I think, especially now, if you've seen us live in the past couple of years, or if you're gonna see us live next time we come over at the end of the year, I mean, you really kind of understand who we are on stage. Like, you really get a good glimpse of our personality, and we're kind of like did that by accident, and then saw how good it felt to just be 100% ourselves and not trying to be like. There's moments in a show where you want to have like impact or power, or, you know, there's parts of the show that you want to have a cool epic intro, and there's songs that are heavy in the set that maybe get emotional or kind of like tender, but the majority of the time it's just us up there doing what we love and having fun. So it's like, why don't we just put that idea forward all the time? Because if you've hung out with us as a band off stage, it's dick and fart jokes and laughing 100% of the time. You know what I mean? So it's like, why don't we just kind of fully show who we are?
But it's
You know what I
kind
mean?
of
It's like you take pulling back the veil, and I think that is, I don't know if that's attractive to other people, but it's attractive to us on our end to be like, this is who we are. So take it or leave it.
well, it's like, I think if people can see you're having fun on stage, then it makes them have fun. It's like we've seen Electric Callboy blow up in the past year, and they are just all laughs, all jokes, all the time. So I think people love
exactly. I think it's just one of those things where it's like we've never been, but like, I don't know, like ultra cool, like, oh my god, wind blowing in my hair, and like, look how fucking cool we are, band.
Although
like,
you say that, and but what?
But I'm saying we're real people, so it's just like, all right, let's just show who the real people are.
But I was saying this to John before when The Curse came out back. Well, I must have been 14, 15, something like that. And Atreyu were like within my friendship group, you were like the best band in the world. We all like were so influenced by your music, and I feel like because that came out almost 20 years ago, there must be people now that are like turning 18, 20 that don't know about that early bit and only know your new music. Have you found that you're getting like new fans that are unaware of the past, Atreyu?
100%. I mean, I feel like nowadays when people talk about our old stuff, they're talking about Lead Sails.
Yeah.
And it was like, we saw something on like some girl posted a TikTok the other day, and it was like 10 bands that got me into metalcore, or 10 songs that got me into metalcore, and it was Becoming the Bull. You know what I mean? So it's like we've been really lucky to stay relevant with our music. Like you look at, God bless analytics these days and access to like what people actually want and like and are listening to. But it's like you look at our top songs on Spotify, for instance, and it's like our top 10 is mostly Lead Sails and On. It's like Right Side of the Bed, it's X's and O's, but then everything else is either from Lead Sails or our last two albums. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where it's like it's kind of weird that our first two records are not disappearing. They'll always be there, and there'll always be people that love them, but they're less popular than even some of the new stuff.
It must be a good feeling, because I feel like some bands, they get so trapped in like just having to play like the older stuff, whereas it seems like people want to hear the newer stuff.
Dude, it is. It's a blessing and a curse, because it's funny, because obviously like you've seen the kind of the resurgence of like the nostalgia tours and the 20th anniversary tour, and this band's going to play this album front to back, and like the kind of revival of metalcore and emo and all that stuff. And all of these bands have like the album that they can kind of like lean on. And strangely enough, we kind of have a couple. Like we have The Curse and we have Lead Sails, but like there's more relevance after that you know what I mean? So it's like weird, where it's like we thought about doing the same thing, but it's like, oh, like it's not, we didn't just have that one thing that popped. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have like the one record that was like massive. And even like the last tour we did in the UK with Bullet, like this third show or something, I'm talking with Matt, and he's like, how come you guys don't play a lot of the old stuff? And I was like, dude, because it's a snooze fest. We play like deep cuts off of any old record, and the crowd's falling asleep. Like it's like you said, where it's a lot of new people that just don't even know the old stuff.
And speaking of new music, I listened to your forthcoming EP, which is out next month. And honestly, some of my favorite songs I've heard this year, like Good Enough, the opener, blew me away. I was like, this is incredible.
Thank you, man. Yeah, we're stoked. It's like they got grouped. The EPs kind of got grouped together to make sense. Like each EP kind of runs through like the gamut of emotions and like every kind of like up, down, middle of life. And we kind of grouped them together because of that, and didn't think about the fact of like, oh, these have to get better as they go, or else people are gonna be like, oh, this one's not as good. But the EP2 for me is like ultra special. I feel like Good Enough is a huge moment. Gone to me is like I love Gone so much.
Yeah.
I think I Don't Want to Die is going to make people think of kind of our old school Atreyu ballads, you know, which we haven't done in a while. So it's like, you know, and then Immortal is just like kind of a more modern banger. I'm stoked. I can't wait for people to hear all of these fucking songs, let alone just EP2.
Yeah, well, I was saying it's like it's very sort of modern sounding, but you still throw in some of those classic Atreyu elements, like the dual sort of harmonizing guitars, which is just is like a little throwback. But it's such a great EP. I think you should be.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Hell yeah. And I mean, like, in terms of the, like, as you said, like the energy at these shows that you're seeing with like the new music tending to go down better than the classic kind of stuff, it's the best reassurance that a band can get, that like everything that they're doing is moving in a new direction. And I mean, like, how have you found, like, I wouldn't necessarily say like reinventing the Atreyu sound, but keeping the Atreyu sound fresh? Like, what's that process been like?
I mean, it's always been important to be kind of ever evolving and always kind of like, you know, giving people a ride, you know, and we've never tried to never kind of be obvious with what we're doing. And it's been awesome. I mean, I go back to Drowning again, and, you know, we started playing Drowning for the first time when it came out on the last European tour. And it was the first song in our entire existence of a band where night one, we were like, what the fuck was that? Like, why did people know it already? Like, what the hell was that? Like, it was like, we were all confused. And we're like, maybe it was just like a goof. Like, maybe it was just like that one show was great. And then the next night it happened again. And we're like, okay, this feels different. So there's nothing more sort of, you know, there's nothing that makes us feel better as artists than after all of these years making music and people receiving it as well as they have. Like that's like the ultimate payback, you know?
Hell yeah. And like my favorite shit is something that you just touched on, like right there, which was like finding like new things to explore. And I mean, like, the Travis Barker feature on Warrior for me was one of the most interesting features, because obviously when Travis Barker kind of features on a tune, more often than not, recently it's either been like sort of like rap artists or like pop punk artists, and then he jumps on with you guys and he busts out that military style drumming like on that bridge section. And I mean, like, what was that collaboration like watching come to life, where it's like, yeah, you've got the drummer Blink-182 associated with pop punk, but he's going to bring out that military style drumming that he's so slick at?
For sure. I mean, that was the point. I mean, it's funny because like I wanted like a big, like you said, like kind of like military marching drum kind of middle eight on that song. And obviously John Feldman is great friends with Travis. He's worked with him a ton. And it was like, dude, you think he would do this? Like, he's so good at this. Like, what? And he's, for some reason, he's never done this on a feature. You know what I mean? He's never done this style of drumming, and it just seemed perfect. And I mean, obviously, he was stoked to do it because it was different. Also, like, he's not just coming in like playing a drum beat. So, I mean, he crushed that. And just it's so funny coming in and like I did like Travis Barker being a drummer, coming in like playing stuff and running through stuff and being like, does that sound good? Like, do you want me to do anything else? And it's like,
I think that's okay.
Shit.
Like having to give constructive criticism.
Yeah, like maybe try another one like this, or what if you played something like this as well? He's like, yeah, cool, man, whatever. Like, he was super game to do whatever. So it worked out rad.
I was actually going to ask, when you're in your recording process these days, do you still play any of the drums, or have you given that up?
I mean, there's not. I mean, I'll never give it up. But there's times, you know, I think the extent of it is really. The truth is that Kyle is such a good drummer that it makes me feel bad. I'm like, damn it. But he does stuff that I like, just makes me mad. But the extent of it is, like, say a lot of time we're in the studio, the way we write these days is like, we will get in, we'll hash out an idea, and then we'll kind of like run a quick demo real fast and start working on it. And then to get the skeleton down, and then like stay after lunch or the night, like a couple hours later, we'll dig in and actually try things. I might throw down the quick pass of like the skeleton for the demo.
Yeah.
Just if I kind of have the part in my head, but I didn't play on anything on any of this new stuff at all. So Baptized was my final hurrah with having a moment. And Kyle, he's awesome. He's like, you know, this is like, you're a great drummer, so if you want to play on something, and or I can't do it at the moment. Like, no hard feelings, but there hasn't been anything we've thrown at him that he couldn't do. So that's been great for me.
I guess for you live, it must be a lot easier not having to worry about playing drums and singing.
Oh, it's so sick, dude. My hands feel great. My hands are soft. I don't have calluses anymore. My wife loves it. I just complain about the rest of my body hurting.
Well, I mean,
I'll tell you what, a big motherfucker like me is not supposed to move like that on stage. But somehow it happens.
With like that's what I was gonna say, like your fitness level, like to play drums and sing at the same time must have been so high that when you actually took the kit playing element away, you probably like found yourself having a bit of excess energy.
I just can't stop moving.
Yeah.
And it's like I can like touch people. I can like get down and get close to people. And that I take way too many liberties with that too. So
Sick.
It's a whole thing. Yeah, I'm having a good time. Having a good time.
You do that when you're playing the drums, and they're like, "Why have you stepped away from the kit? Why's the drums?"
Yeah.
And in terms,
Lars.
I mean, in terms of the shows that you've got coming up, like with Atreyu, as you mentioned, like towards the end of the year, like back over in the United Kingdom, like will that be post EP release? Then I'm guessing.
Yeah, that'll be. So we're back in November, December. By then, there'll be quite a bit more out by then, and we're stoked. I mean, that's going to be our first like proper headline tour in UK or Europe in like over a decade.
Yeah.
So we're so stoked to actually get time to play a proper set and like give everything that we want. I mean, in the States, we've had some opportunities, and it's been really cool to like throw some curveballs and maybe hit a deep cut or two, or strip down a song acoustic and just like do the things you do on a headline tour.
Yeah.
And we just haven't had the opportunity in so long. So it's time.
Hell yeah. And not to pull too many tricks out of the musician's sleeve, but in terms of some of the deeper cuts that you're thinking of including in that UK tour later on this year, have you had those conversations and got them in like, okay, cool, how old school should we go with the deeper cuts that we're choosing?
We kind of had a little bit, and it's one of those things where the hard part is that, you know, we can squeeze most of the quote unquote hits into like 45, 50 minutes if we really, really try.
Damn.
Like, and if we want to expand a little bit, you know, like we like to do an hour and a half set, something like, you know, a good lengthy set. And it's one of the things where it's like, we've talked about maybe trying to take, you know, maybe like a cool medley of like a handful of old deep cuts so we can like really kind of scratch the itch without having to worry about doing a 2-hour set, you know?
Nice.
And kind of keeping the energy up. And it's tough because there's bits and pieces from everything that we're interested in playing, you know, like with, you know, talked about, you know, like the Ain't Love Grands, or, you know, kind of like some of the deeper stuff on Suicide Notes, and like, you know, a cool part or something off of some of the Curse songs we don't usually play, or even like Death Grip, you know, like we usually only do maybe X's and O's and the Theft off of Death Grip. So it's like, you know, taking a couple pieces there and just making it more interesting. So we're kind of working that out now. Also, I'm an idiot and we had like a goof on the last UK tour where like we'd get the crowd to sing along. We start playing Whitney Houston, and then we'd stop, and everyone was like fucking really pissed. Like it was like, I've done the bit in the States and everyone just laughed. Like in Europe and UK, they were like, boo, when we stopped. So I was like, listen, I'll make you a deal. We're coming back at the end of the year. You guys come to the show, we'll play the whole song. And I started making these promises, and like day 4, I think Dan was like, do you realize what you've done? And I'm like, what? He's like, you're promising all these people that we're going to play Whitney Houston at the end of the year. So now we have to learn that.
Amazing.
So that's going to be part of the set for sure.
Oh, that's what I love.
Myself in a hole for that one.
I was going to say, I love the fact that your band are like, hey man, you're creating extra work over here. Hold on a second.
Yeah. What have you done?
I'm just having a look at the dates. There's some decent sized venues in there. You've got Electric Ballroom in London, which is an iconic venue. Yeah. You've got the one nearest to us is Wolverhampton's KK Steel Mill, which we saw Enter Shikari play not long ago.
Great venue. Yeah. Fantastic venue. And Garage in Glasgow, Dublin.
Mm-hmm. We're pumped. I mean, it's not till November, and there's a handful of shows that are already about to sell out. So that also feels fantastic to come back and do the first tour in a long time and actually Has some people coming.
And like not just people coming for the new Atreyu as well, which, as we said at the start of this chat, like is one of the biggest compliments like a band that have the tenured career that you do can receive, where it's like, hey, yeah, we love the old shit, but let's hear some of that new shit too.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Hell yeah. Well, just before we get out of here, my last question to you with regards to this EP is, what moment or what song or what part of this selection of songs, this body of work, are you most excited for people to hear? What's the one moment on there that you're like, that's the one I really want to see your reactions to?
You're talking about on the second EP?
Yeah, this moment. The moment you find your flame.
Yeah. I feel like it's sort of a tie for me. I feel like Gone is something that's going to be bonkers live.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of. Like, I think that we've always been a band that's chased the sort of goosebump moment. And the end of Gone, to me, is like, it gives me chills even every time I listen to it. So it's one of those things where it's like, I think we accomplished something so kind of unique and special in that song that I'm stoked for everyone to have. I think I Don't Want to Die too. I think I Don't Want to Die is like one of the biggest ballads we've ever done. And we took every play out of the Def Leppard playbook.
Let's go.
For I Don't Want to Die. And it's like,
yes,
like we didn't hold back at all. Like to the point, I mean, I'll even say it. Like the drums are Def Leppard drum samples.
Oh my days, that's genius.
Like we went like, it was like, if we're gonna do a fucking ballad, like we're diving into this thing
big
and went
drums.
Full Def Leppard. We went as Mutt Lange influence as we could and like really cranked it up. And it's like, I think that it's gonna be a special moment for people as well.
Nice.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well,
before we let you go, I was gonna say, I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you. So when I was younger, before the days of MySpace and all that, we used to have MSN Messenger, and I remember my screen name for a while was Live, Love, Burn, Die.
Yes.
So I was like, should I tell him this? Yeah, I'm gonna tell you.
Should.
Before you go.
The best. I think that's great. I love hearing all of the used to, because it's like my favorite is years ago the first tour to Emotionless in White, and Chris is like, hey, I gotta tell you something. I'm like, what? And he's like, I need to. I know. I went up to him and I said, is this real? And there's a photo of him when he was like a teenager with Live, Love, Burn, Die.
No way.
Chest piece. And he's like, yeah, that's real. I'm like, let me see it. And he pulled his shirt down and there's a whole new tattoo over it.
That's
I was like, ah!
Oh my God. He's still got it as well.
Oh, no, get rid
Oh,
of
no, it's covered.
Oh, he's covered it now. No.
Oh, Chris.
I was like, you son of a bitch. But I think that's cool. Like, I think that all that stuff's awesome. Like, I mean, we always joke, like, Matt from Avenged had it was like a H2O email or MSN or something for like up until like 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where that's your roots, man. I'm honored to have graced your messenger.
Thank you. That means the world to my 13-year-old self. If I could tell my 13-year-old self right now, I'd be freaking out. So that's amazing.
That's awesome.
Oh, well, Brandon, thank you ever so much for your time today, my friend. And best of luck with the launch of the EP in August. And we will see you at the end of the year for the first Atreyu headline tour in almost a decade. Holy shit, let's go. Thank you, my friend.
It's time. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No worries.
Cheers. Apologies for the stream issues we've had, but we can hear you. So
yeah, the audio is fine. Thank you so much. Brandon from Atreyu! Hell yeah, thank you, man.
All right, we're back on audio only. Oh, there we go. We're back.
Hell yeah.
Had some technical issues, but I think what a nice guy. Oh wait, he's still on. He's still there.
See you guys.
See you later. I love that when we start talking and he can still on the stream.
We haven't got a smooth exit for interviews yet, do we?
But has anyone?
No.
How do you do it in other interviews?
In terms of live, we're still very new to this, my friends. Well, thank you for watching today. Apologies about what just happened with the video quality. But hopefully you enjoyed the sounds of that conversation, because that was such a fucking interesting conversation.
Yeah. Legend, like, people forget how big Atreyu were and still are. Like, or just how influential they've been to the whole heavy music scene. Like you're saying, fucking Chris Motionless has a Atreyu tattoo.
Yeah.
And it's like, because that was like, The Curse came out 19 years ago. So, like, if you were born, if you were like my age, so that was like, you're a prime teenager. So they must have influenced so many teenagers that then went on to create bands that went on to be big names.
Yeah.
So there's probably countless bands that are big Atreyu fans.
Hell yeah.
How are you doing? You stressed?
I'm sweating my ass off. Like, I don't know if you can see that, my friends. Look at the color change on my bandana, right? That right there, that's original color. That deep purple, that is sweat. It's like, why is it working?
Smoke on the river over here. Smoke on the river, smoke on the water.
Smoke on the water.
Do you know how that song, why that's called that? Do you know why Smoke on the Water is called Smoke on the Water?
Go on.
Story time with Ollie Roud. They, before they were a big band, Deep Purple went to see Frank Zappa in, I believe it was in Paris or somewhere in France, and he played in a old casino, and he had pyro or like fireworks go off, and it set the whole building on fire, and the whole building burnt down. But afterwards, because it was bordering a river, like all you could see was just all this smoke on the water. So they named the song "Smoke on the Water" because of that.
Damn! Holy shit! Because of arson.
Yeah. So down. Maybe wouldn't have been written if it might have been called something else.
Yeah, something. Yeah, like wholesome night out where nothing dangerous happened.
Yeah. Frank Zappa's non-problematic show.
Not as catchy though, is it? Oh, my friends, thank you so much for joining us on the stream today. Started slightly earlier at 6 p.m. And if you missed anything, whether it was the chat with Karan from Bloodywood or the chat with Brandon from Atreyu, we'll do our best to get both of those up. But always left for us to say is my name's Jon Mahon. Peace and love. Stay alive.
And I'm Ollie Roud. Go fuck yourself. Respectfully. Peace. Oh. Right, we're just gonna cut the stream now.
Yeah. Nothing.
Bye.